Right, very good morning to you and welcome to the ENL segment. I always say this, it's always a pleasure that I get to do this with you this and every day right here on the Breakfast Live show. Now, happy Wednesday going out to all Wednesday borns. I mean, I am a Wednesday born. If you are not a Wednesday born, you can go for yours from the gods. Maka. This morning, we know that October is set aside for breast cancer awareness. But did you also know that it is also a month for creating awareness on cybersecurity? This morning on the show, we are talking the impact of personal security on corporate security. I have here a gentleman. We're going to be having this conversation and more. I'll have him introduce himself, then we set the ball rolling. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming. Can you tell us about yourself?
My name is Dominic Alokopo. I work with E-Crime Bureau as a cybersecurity analyst.
Right. Thanks for coming. Are you a Wednesday born?
No, I'm a Saturday born.
I see. I'm sorry for that. Let's start the conversation. Will we ever come to a place where Ghanaians will know, will get to know cybersecurity and its importance?
Yes, I think gradually we will get to that point. As part of the awareness that we create, as you rightly said, October is not for only breast cancer, but also to create awareness for the public and the population as a whole, to know what cybersecurity is and then how they can protect themselves from threats.
Right. So how do we explain cybersecurity to the ordinary Ghanaian?
Okay, so when we talk about cybersecurity, let me talk about security first.
Good.
When we say security, what do we mean by security? We know that security is protecting ourselves from danger or from a threat. So when we come to cybersecurity, cybersecurity in a way is protecting ourselves or our devices, our personal information on the internet and then from malicious actors. That is cybersecurity. Yes.
Well, what are some of the common threats we face today?
Okay, so the threat landscape is very huge.
Right.
There are a lot of threats out there. But the common ones we see in our environment, I'll say in our local environment or Ghana, boils down to, let's say, the social engineering attacks. That is where we see people call on mobile phones, these mobile money frauds that people do. There are a lot of social engineering attacks out there. We have the phishing, whereby emails are sent to you via your corporate email or your personal email. When you click on them, you are compromised. Your device is compromised or a malware is downloaded onto your device.
Right.
But then the common one we see nowadays are the phishing. When I say phishing, they try to scam people through the voice, let's say the voice notes, calling people and then trying to scam them to send them money or to give out information. I think recently, 3 days ago, a colleague of mine had a call from a malicious actor who was trying to extort money from him. He called and he was saying that my colleague's ward has collapsed in the school and they had to rush her to the hospital. So we were trying to find out which location he was. And then he asked us, how many wards does my colleague has? And my colleague said he has 2 wards, one in Kumasi and one in Accra.
Right.
And then the guy said, okay, it's the one in Kumasi. So they've rushed him to a hospital, and then the doctor said he has lost blood, so they need to do some payment so that they can get...
all of this was through a phone call?
Through a phone call.
Wow.
So we were trying to find out. So we asked further questions to find out the particular hospital that the ward was sent to. But then he was saying the government hospital. But I know in Kumasi we have a lot of government hospitals. So if you say a government hospital, which of the government hospitals? He was saying a government hospital. So we ended up saying that we were playing along just to see how long it was going to take. So we asked him to send a mobile money number that we can send the money to. and he said we are sending it to the OPD. So that is where my friend came out with this OPD, this joke that OPBD. So
oh, I see.
So we just had to take the number. We called him back and told him that we are trying to send the money, but then it's not going through. I think we have issues with the network. And then he came back and gave us a different number. So when he realized that we were playing tricks on him, he ended up insulting us. And then.
But how do they do it? Is it that the passwords and all the PIN codes we put on our computers, our laptops, and our phones are not good enough? Or is not that strong?
Yes, I would say sometimes our passwords are weak. But from this act, I think the person was trying to, the person went online and then picked the information of my colleague. You know, when it comes to social media.
But the person, okay, so it means he picked the number two on social media.
On social media.
Okay.
So, you know, when we are registering social media or some of these sites, they ask for so many informations, including our numbers, our email addresses, and then our locations.
Right.
So I think they get it from the social media. You know, some of us, I would say, when it comes to social media, when we go online, every activity that we perform, we want to leave a trace online. Yeah. Just imagine someone going out or stepping out, going for breakfast. The person wants everyone to know, the whole world to know that he or she is going for breakfast. That's
what social media is all about. I mean, we just take pictures and put it out there.
But the social media is not just for taking pictures. And you can learn a lot on social media. Especially when it comes to Twitter and then the Instagram. I know Instagram is more or less like using that platform for businesses.
For business.
Yes. Twitter too, you can get a lot of information there. But
Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook too. There are a lot of businesses there.
Of course.
But people don't really post businesses. But it's more or less like posting pictures, updating their status on whatever they are doing. And then it goes a long way to affect us because you put out so many information out there that makes these threat actors to pick them. You might not know what he's using them for. You can face maybe there's a situation whereby you can face the issue of identity theft. Someone using your images.
Yeah, we see that a lot of times.
You will just be there and someone will call you and say, well, why are you using your social media account to ask for money from people?
Some even go to the extent of posting nudes and other unpleasant stuff.
Yes, just to get money from other people. So they can do that, post nudes, and then come back to you, call you, and then they'll tell you that they have nude pictures of you on social media. And if you go and check and you realize that, okay, there's something like that on your social media or there's an account with your name and your pictures, with nude pictures, you are likely to give out monies to those people. So we have to be very careful when it comes to social media, putting out information out there. There are a lot of things we do that I would say in the past, in the olden days, people don't give out their information that way. But nowadays, you see a whole lot of information. If you just you are looking for someone that you have not heard from for a very long time, just go to social media, follow trends or follow statuses or updates, and then you locate the person easily.
Of course. So all these practices that you have said, how does it affect the corporate environment? So
with the social media angle, you are divulging information online. You are giving out a lot of information. It can happen that you are in the office and then you just take your phone, forgetting yourself, start taking pictures, giving updates on what is going on in the office. And that way, a malicious actor can take information or pick some trends and then use that in compromising the organization. Let me give this example. We investigated a case whereby this teller was dating a guy. I don't want to mention the country. So the guy has been checking up on the teller. Not knowing the guy was a cyber criminal. So he calls daily to check on the lady ask, okay, what's up in the office? What's going on? So I think one day, the bank's system went down. And then the lady, when the guy called, the lady said, today is boring. Our systems are down. So quickly, the guy had to act, sent his gang, the syndicate, and they went to the bank with clone checks. Because the systems are down, the G5, the verification systems, cannot verify those identities. So they just cashed out a lot of money. And at the end of the day, when they realized that they were clone checks, they couldn't trace them. So giving information out this way can cause a whole lot.
So what are some of the risks involved?
So the risk involved, it can lead to compromise, whereby the institution will lose a lot of funds. There can be data theft, whereby when the malicious actor compromises the institution, maybe proprietary or intellectual property that they don't need people to know or their competitors to know, it will just end up in the hands of their competitors, and they can use that against them.
So do we have laws in Ghana governing this cybersecurity thing?
Yes, we have laws in Ghana. That is the Cybersecurity Act 2020, which was enacted to help. And then I think the BAOG directive that also mandates the financial institutions to put cybersecurity solutions in place, or measures in place, or security and policies in place, just to avert some of these threats. And then,
right. So you've said a whole lot. How do we protect ourselves?
Okay, one, we can protect ourselves. If I'm going to take it from the top, talking about the social media angle, and then our personal way of living, especially also when it comes to some institutions, and they allow employees to bring their devices to the office. Yes.
And that's bad?
That is bad. I'll say that is bad because you might not know what the person has downloaded on that device, or what the person is using that device for. And if it's compromised or there are vulnerabilities on that device, immediately it's connected to the organization's network. A threat actor can get access to the network and then start compromising the devices or whatever he wants to take on the network.
So how does a firm ensure personal security in a person?
So there are levels whereby firms can ensure personal security in people. That is setting or coming out with controls, administrative controls or technical controls that will take care of some of these problems. Because if you are bringing your device to the office, there has to be a control that device that you are bringing to the office, even if the organization is allowing you, there have to be some measures put in place so that if there's a compromise, immediately that device is connected to the network or to the environment, and that control takes it down. Like putting an antivirus on your devices, making sure your devices are up to date. Yes, and not visiting sites that are malicious.
Right. So how do we create awareness for this? Because it looks like a lot of corporate entities do not know about this, that we have to get someone to check all the devices coming in and all of that. How do we create that awareness?
So I think this, as part of the awareness this month, we inside E-Crime Bureau try to organize awareness training for some of these corporate institutions, just for them to understand and appreciate the threats that is out there.
Do you have some of the people coming in?
Yes, we get people coming in for trainings. And then we have done trainings for a lot of institutions. Well, I think I would say most institutions, yes, are aware. Some of them are not aware, and we are still training people just to be aware of some of these threats, and then the cybersecurity awareness out there.
Right. So what are some of the risks involved if personal security is not taken seriously in corporate entities?
So as I said earlier, it can lead to data theft.
When you make mention of data theft,
Yeah.
I want you to elaborate on it for us.
So data theft, assuming your device is compromised,
right,
or an individual is compromised in the institution,
right,
maybe you are being blackmailed to give out information on the institution, because maybe the person has seen your nude pictures or has picked up information on you on the internet or on the social media platform and wants to get an information on the institution. They can use you, the individual who is compromised, as an insider to get some of these information. As example, when it comes to intellectual properties,
right,
documents that are not supposed to go out there. So the best thing to do to avoid this is to create access control. Which employee has access to what document or what information in the organization?
right.
So that I can put measures in place to curtail that.
Right. So what are some of the positive impacts of cybersecurity on corporate societies?
So when a corporate institution implements cybersecurity, they tend to prevent a lot of fraudulent activities, loss of data, prevent insider threats, and then a whole lot of them.
Right.